Okay, so you're thinking about retirement. And you've probably heard about annuities, right?
Yeah, they're definitely a hot topic these days.
It seems like everybody's got an opinion on them. Some people are saying annuities are the best thing since sliced bread,
Right.
and others are saying they're like the worst investment you could possibly make.
Yeah, you definitely get mixed messages.
So we're going to try to cut through all the noise today. We've got some marketing material here from Diversified Insurance Brokers,
Oh, interesting.
and we're going to take a deep dive into what they have to say about annuities and, try to figure out if annuities are right for you.
Sounds good.
So let's just jump right in, shall we? This material talks about how some people think annuities are just straight up scams. Have you heard that before?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Annuities definitely have a bit of a reputation.
But then, you also hear stories of people who are just like so happy with their annuities. It's like, how do we reconcile those two things?
Yeah, it's a puzzle for sure. I think, a lot of it comes down to the fact that annuities aren't really a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Right.
There are a lot of different types of annuities, and they can be structured in a lot of different ways. So some annuities might be great for some people,
Right.
but then, those same annuities might be terrible for other people.
Makes sense. So how do we figure out which is which?
Well, I think the first step is to debunk some of those myths that are floating around out there. Like the first one that jumps out at me is this idea that annuities are always a bad investment.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen articles with titles like Annuity Traps to Avoid and things like that. It can be pretty scary.
Yeah.
And it's true that there are some bad annuities out there, but there are also plenty of the good ones. A lot of annuities offer benefits that you just can't get with other types of investments.
Okay, like what kind of benefits?
Well, like guaranteed income.
Oh, okay.
That can be a real lifesaver for retirees who are worried about outliving their savings. Or tax advantages. Annuities can be a really tax-efficient way to save for retirement.
That's interesting.
And some annuities even offer principal protection.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that your initial investment is safe from market downturns. So even if the stock market crashes, you won't lose any of the money that you put into the annuity.
Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom with annuities, but what about those fees?
Ah, yes. The fees. That's another big one. And it's a valid concern. Fees can eat into your returns.
Right.
And, over the long term, that can make a big difference. But here's the thing. Not all annuities have high fees.
Oh, really?
Some annuities, like variable annuities, tend to have higher fees.
Yeah, I've heard of those.
But other types of annuities, like fixed or indexed annuities, often have very low fees, or even no fees at all.
Huh. So it really depends on the type of annuity. Okay, well, that makes sense. But here's another thing that I've always wondered about annuities. Don't they lock your money away forever?
Ah, that's another common misconception. It's true that annuities are designed for long-term financial security, so, they're not really meant to be a short-term investment.
Right.
But most annuities do allow for partial withdrawals.
Okay.
And some annuities even have features that give you more flexibility, like liquidity riders, or penalty-free access for emergencies, or long-term care needs. So you're not necessarily giving up all access to your money when you buy an annuity.
Okay, so there's more flexibility there than I realized. But, at the end of the day, what I really want to know is, how do annuities perform? Do they actually make money?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? And it's a tricky one to answer because, as we've already talked about, there are so many different types of annuities.
Right, right.
And they all have different ways of generating returns. So, for example, a fixed annuity is going to give you a stable, predictable rate of return, kind of like a guaranteed interest rate on your savings. So if you're looking for safety and predictability, a fixed annuity might be a good option for you.
Okay, so that's fixed annuities. What about the other types?
Well, then you've got indexed annuities, and those are a little bit more complex. Their returns are linked to the performance of a specific market index,
Okay.
like the S&P 500, for example.
Right, right.
So if the stock market does well, you have the potential to earn a fair return. But if the market goes down, your principal is protected, so you don't lose any money.
Okay, so there's a little bit more risk there, but also the potential for more reward.
Exactly.
Interesting. So it sounds like there are annuities up there for just about everyone.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. But it's important to remember that annuities are not a magic bullet. They're not going to solve all of your financial problems.
Right.
And they're not right for everyone. So if you're considering buying an annuity, it's really important to do your research
Yeah, for sure.
and talk to a qualified financial advisor. They can help you figure out if an annuity is right for you. And if so, they can help you choose the right annuity for your needs.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So to sum all of that up, annuities can be a good option for some people, but they're not for everyone. And it's important to do your research before you buy one.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been a really informative deep dive. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure. Happy to help.
I guess the big question now is, could an annuity help you worry less about money in retirement? Food for thought, right?
Definitely something to think about.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.